G'day everyone, Jackson here. Welcome back to Weekly Endeavours for the 7th of July. So 250 seal set, just a typical amount. 10 quests, 50 resources from the world, and 4 Battleground matches. So it's an okay set. Don't have any issues with this one. Battleground matches, or everything else everything's base game too. So, alright. So Battlegrounds first. You join the queue. You wait for it to pop. You get put into either a 4v4 or an 8v8. Now, I would say even though it's competitive, these would probably queue quicker because you only need 8 people as opposed to 16, so it takes longer to fill up. But I don't know, I don't really do Battlegrounds to be able to tell you that. Now, the issue I have with Battlegrounds, and the reason I would pick this last, is because the queue times, like the time you're taking for the queue to pop and find a Battleground, it can take quite a while, and the amount of time for maybe one Battleground is probably going to be the same as 50 resources from the world. And with quests, you can just do writs very easily, and for a small amount of time and like very little effort. Like you're not relying on other people to like get this one done, as opposed to this one where you have no choice with Battlegrounds. You must wait for people to be on, and it's just like trials. It's just like why would I do Battlegrounds and like rely on other people, and I can just do these two and rely on myself, right? It's common sense. Alright, so firstly, I'm going to cover quests. There is no doubt that the best way to do this is to do writs. If you're not familiar with writs, basically after level 7, I believe it is, you unlock these quests. You just have to basically do like a little, it's like a very short apprenticeship to teach, like to show that these NPCs that you can like do the writs, and then after that you can do them every day, and they give you a bunch of items that you have to craft. And there's 7 in total, so you've got your blacksmithing, clothing, woodworking, jewelry, alchemy, enchanting, and provisioning. And so each day on a single character, as long as you've got like got the resources for it, you can do 7 per character. So a few characters with their crafting sorted, you can do this very quickly. So what you do in this case, and you can make it even quicker with add-ons, right? Dolgamon's Lazy Writ Creator just fucking trivializes this stuff. You don't even have to do anything yourself. I think for older consoles, you don't get this, but everybody else has basically got this. So just as an example, I'll just take this over to the hand-in area. So each main city in every zone has a writ board. It's got a consumables and a equipment board. So as an example, in Addons, the equipment one is right there, the one to just use, and the alchemy, provisioning, and enchanting one's over here. That's the consumables one. So every city's got their own locations, for example, or every main city. There's only one city in every zone that has these. I think the one for Deshan is like one's over here and then one's over here or something. I can't remember too much. Now, if I were to choose which one you would do, Deshan is good. Vivek City is also great, probably one of the best ones. I think some people also like Somerset, because all the crafting areas are here, right in this spot. And then the hand-in location, I believe, is just over here somewhere. Yeah, so the things that correlate to a good area for writs is how close all the crafting stations are to each other, how close they are to the writ board, and then how close the hand-in area is. Orsinim is like the worst, because 1, the writ boards are like far from each other. 2, all the crafting stations are in buildings, so 1, you can't mount, and 2, you have to go through like mini load screens just to get to the crafting stations, and you have to do it each one. And then 3, the fucking hand-in boards are like all the way over here, so you're going all across the fucking city just to get to them. So yeah, I don't like this place, even though I used to do it a lot. Now, if you want to learn about writs, there are so many videos out there that explain them well and explain them better than I can. I will link one that I think you should look through in the description. I'll link 2 actually. I'll just choice. But yeah, like there are so much information out there for writs. Where am I going? Okay, so I'll also just cover just regular quests, because there's so many that you can do, and there's like ones that I definitely suggest doing over others. So either daily quests that are really quick, for example the Mages Guild one, usually this one's pretty quick, or zone guide ones, which aren't as quick, but completing the main story for places like Deshan, these give you skill points. So characters, unless you're like really established, you'll need skill points, right? Like Right, so let me just get this one here, just have a look. So yeah, Stormhaven, that's a pretty good one actually. So let me show you what I would do to get quests done as quick as possible, because there are ways to really, really like speed up how to do these. One of the best things in the game is Cloak. If you can get this, even if it's not a Nightblade, if you can subclass and get this on just another character, Shadow Cloak it's called by natural. Don't get the other morph because it turns into a heal and does make you invisible. But being able to go invisible and just ignore like enemies and just run straight past them, you skip so much combat doing that, and just have like fast movement speed. Like I use Adept Rider, and this is going to be the same case for the harvesting from the world. Like the same rules apply. You want to be as fast as possible. Now, you might be wondering, but fuck, what if you don't have the way shrine out here? Well, I fucking talk about it all the time, but let me teach you about home tours, right? So, say this house here, you don't own it, that's fine. So, if you don't have any way shrines around here, what you can do is find this house name, go to home tours, go to browse homes, and now we look up Hammerdeath Bungalow. So what you do is you travel to this, and then you go outside, and then all you do is just come around here, and you just get this way shrine. So what home tours does is it allows you to travel to places where you haven't got a way shrine yet, without having to like run around and fuck around all the time. Like you can just use this to skip so much work. So yeah, home tours. Just look through, and sometimes there are houses that you can't see. I don't know. Elden Private Arena's there. I'm just trying to see if there's any that wouldn't be. Okay, whatever. But you get the picture. Like in Craiglawn, for example, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So what I do is I have Vigor. You can use other heals, but I like Vigor because it's a heal over time. You could use a restoration stuff if you want, but I like Destro for the damage. So Vigor, Siphoning Attacks, and Cloak. All three of these, I cast Cloak, and then I Siphon for a while, and then I Vigor. And what that does is you can basically keep your Cloak up indefinitely. So, use that, Siphon a while, and our health goes low, but I Vigor, and then I Cloak immediately, and then I start Siphoning Attacks. And Vigor will heal you while you're Siphoning, and as long as you do it correctly, you can actually... I'll see if I can do it in front of some enemies. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you can Vigor and then immediately Cloak, and sometimes you can just skip enemies. Like, enemies won't see you. Like, if I do this, and then immediately Cloak. If I go Vigor and then Cloak, yeah, this guy tried to see me but can't. More enemies here, so I'll just make sure I'm cloaked. Or maybe someone's done the group event already. So this is where you get your skill point for Stormhaven. Now, the other thing that I think is important is getting access to this house here, Flaming Deluxe Garret. There are other instances where you can buy houses, but the other houses are more expensive. This one's only 11 grand, whereas the other ones are like 50,000, 100,000 gold plus. So in terms of how cheap it is, you can buy this house, you can travel to it, and that way you're not traveling all the way out and going to the way shrine and wasting more time. You can just do this instead to speed up the pace. And the same thing for Mara's Kiss Public House, if you've got that in Auridon. That is found right next to the way shrine in Vocal Guard, right? So you get this house as well for free by talking to the NPC right outside. If you're in a place that you just want to get out of and get to another way shrine, you can travel to this outside, doesn't cost you anything, and then you can use this way shrine to travel where you need to go. So it's just ways you can cut down the amount of time you're fucking around and just use way shrines and houses just to speed up the process of everything. So now we'll go over to the Mages Guild and we'll hand that in. So you don't have to do this one. There's so many others you can do. You can do Heist from Thieves Guilds, you can do Black Sacraments from Dark Brotherhood, they're pretty quick. You can do daily quests in, like for example, there's a Mythic lead in Fargrave for the Mark and Ring of Majesty, which is fucking good. And you can find those, the daily quest givers here. And yeah, you need to do those quests to get that anyway. So if you want to do two things at once, you can do something like that. That's very handy. Okay, so now we hand this in. And that would be another quest done. Now you can just do that, but for other things, you know, you've got the Fighter's Guild daily over here, which is just one dolmen. In normal circumstances, that's pretty damn quick to do. especially since Dolmens these days are pretty easy. There's Daily Delve over here. Now, because it's just normal quests, pledges also work. So pledges are good, because pledges are relatively quick too. But yeah, compared to writs, there's nothing else that comes close, right? So if you're just looking for speed, writs are your guy. But if you're looking for practicality, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing main quests or doing these kind of dailies, because sometimes you can get focus scripts. So yesterday, I talked about the multi-target script bound focus for the dual wield ability for scribing. This Mage's Guild quest is how you get that. So if you can just do these every day, whenever there's like these quest endeavors come up, that is the way to get that. And believe me, getting access to that for the scribing one is really fucking good. Now, obviously, right now with scribing being Gold Road, you can't do that if you only have base game, but that is going to change in a few days. So yeah, looking forward to that. I've already got it, but for the base game crowd, I'm looking forward to it. Alright, so now I'll cover the last of the three options, which is harvesting resources from the world. So basically, you can go into any zone in the game and just run in a straight line, and basically just find a ton of shit all over the place. So I just want to cover a few things first before I just show you what I would do. There's a bunch of things you want to make sure you have. Well, you want to have to make sure this is quicker. So firstly, you want to make sure you have some inventory space. I would say to be safe, go 50, but you might need more depending on, because if you have a character who has max level crafting and you only get one type of resource, then you're going to need less space. But if you, for example, have a character with halfway through crafting or no crafting at all, so you get 2 different types of blacksmithing ores, 2 different types of cloth, 2 different types of jewelry stuff, you might need more space for that. Because each item will hold 1 inventory space when you're collecting a bunch of it. Whereas, if you also have platinum and pewter, it costs more inventory space. That's all to consider. Also, if people are finding that the game makes no noise if you sell an item to a vendor, don't worry. ZeniMax knows about that. It's a fucking another broken thing about the game right now. So don't worry, you're not going crazy. There's no sound when you sell stuff right now. So you're also going to want a few other things. If you can, get a build that's fast. I've got a video guide on this exact character here, what I use. Coward's Gear, I use Dark Strad, I use a bunch of other things. But yeah, TLDR, I'll just go through the most important things. Master Gatherer is very useful. Halves the amount of time it takes your character to harvest a node. Gifted Rider is also amazing if you've got some more champion points to spend, because you can increase your mount speed, so you're just spending less time running around. If your character isn't as fast as you can possibly be, you can get Steed's Blessing to help you hit the movement speed cap. You've also got Sprinter to reduce sprint costs, Hasty to increase sprint speed, and then Celerity to increase your overall movement speeds. Things like that can help you out a little bit. The last thing, based on the map here, you can see this add-on here. It's called HarvestMap. This will also make your day much easier later on once you start getting it sorted. So everything that you pick up with this add-on installed will it'll save it onto the map as just a pin, like a UI pin. And so what you can do in the long run, once you've got this sorted, they all start showing up on your screen. So when you've been doing this long enough, I think there's also an add-on called Harvest Merge that you can load other people's profiles, but I haven't really gotten that to work. It's just broken mine in the past, and yeah, I'm too afraid to use it again and lose all this stuff. But yeah, if you got nothing to lose, you might as well try that if you have nothing yet. But yeah, it just shows you everything you picked up. So for example, if I come over here, you can see there's a pure water node here shown by this pin here, and there's a pure water node there. Pure water node over there, so these count as resources from the world. So all you do is just start traveling around, just start looking for stuff. So yeah, there's a nightshade here where the alchemy pin is. There's a blacksmithing ore over there, so we'll just start grabbing all this stuff here. Most of the stuff's pretty good. Probably the most valuable stuff is going to be cloth nodes, ancestor silk especially, jewelry seams, so platinum dust, and pewter's not too bad, and columbine especially for alchemy. Mount Flood's not too bad. So yeah, just hop on your mount, go to an item, pick it up, on your mount again, keep moving. that's the way to do this one quick. So ribbit ore. So yeah, you can see what I mean. There's just tons of stuff all over the place. You just run in a straight line and you'll find a heap of shit. There's a blacksmithing ore over there as well. Dragon thorn over here. It's also good to know what each of the items look like. I need to make a image that shows all the different nodes at once, just so you're not looking through each bloody thing. But yeah, you can't go wrong by just traveling through. Now, I will also point out, especially with alchemy, because there's a lot of plants that, unless you've been playing this game a while, you won't really know what to look for in the all the green shrub. Keen eye reagents. What this does is it gives that like glow when I get close to alchemy items, and yeah, there's one for clothing there. So it gives this effect when you get close enough, and that'll mean that once you get close enough, if you don't know what you're looking for, at least you can see the glow and be able to know that that's an item that you want to pick up. I don't do it for ribbit ore or like most of the stuff, but I only do that because I've been playing this game a while and like know exactly what to look for. So if you're not that experienced, it might be a good idea to get that too. Alright, so here's one of the things that doesn't work. Chests. So going through this, so I'm at 16 now. If I take this, it stays at 16. So yeah, chests don't work, unfortunately. Not that I would use them anyway, because they're usually slower than just collecting other resources. Thieves' throws also don't work, and insect nodes. So torch bugs, butterflies, wasps, and flesh fly nodes, they don't work. Just trying to see if I can find any. Yeah, here you go. So 19 out of 50. 19 out of 50. Doesn't work. Oh yeah, here's some platinum seam. Do you want this stuff here? Because this sells for a lot. 167 gold a piece, man. That's still ridiculous. That being said, I remember when they were going for like 525 a piece. That was utterly ridiculous days back then. More platinum. Yeah, and once you like, you'll eventually get into a rhythm where you can just off your mount. Exact time at harvest. Go to the next one. Exact time at harvest. Go to the next one. Exact time at harvest. Go to the next one. Yeah, so you can get this done super duper quick once you get into the rhythm and the RAM. All right, so yeah, I think that just about covers the weeklies this week. Yeah, like with Battlegrounds, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Sorry, I probably should have mentioned that at the start. But yeah, again, just because it takes so much longer than these ones, I just don't bother usually. Alright, so if you have any questions about anything, about the build, about going fast, about anything to do with resources or quests or stuff, just let me know. But yeah, should be a pretty straightforward weekly, this one. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time, and take care.